Welcome to Tim Sonner. Cybersecurity, networking, AI, and software development. Mwahahaha, ha.
Okay, what is up? So, today we're going to be talking about uh, Podman and Podman running from Cockpit. So, I've actually never done this, so I'm going to actually just do this on the fly. Should be fairly simple. I've done a little bit of research on it. And then, in addition to Podman and Cockpit, what we're going to also do is I'm going to show you guys how to do GitHub repo. What do they call them? Like access tokens. What are they called exactly? It is so what you do is like you go into your repo, or well, yeah, I guess it's like your overall repo, but you go into your like GitHub profile, go into your settings over here, grab your avatar, and then settings in here. It takes you to the settings page, and then you go to credentials, and then fine-grained personal access token. That's what I was trying to say here. So I have one of these set up right now. I was just using this one for testing. So I'm going to just delete this token. So if you want to get rid of tokens, that's how you do that. And like, so the reason I'm showing you this is you don't always want to give your agent full control over like all of your GitHub repos, right? Like you want to ideally keep it a little bit scoped to where maybe like I don't know, maybe like a single agent only has access to like a certain repo or something like that. Um, I don't know. It's just a way like because I still worry a little bit about like just an agent being like, oh yeah, we're just gonna like wipe out all your repos or something like that, you know. So we want to keep it scoped a little bit to where if it does go bonkers, it's just isolated to like one repo. So you kind of just cut your losses a little bit. Um, so what we're gonna do is generate a new token here, and it's gonna ask us some like information. So I like to personally like I'll do like the workstation. Um, I'm on an XPS right now, so I just call this XPS, and I'll do the agent. I'm going to be using Hermes with it, and then we're working on Podman. So I'm going to just say that's kind of our like reference to that. Actually, now that I think about this, this is probably better to actually do like the destination like repo. So I'm going to say it's the agent skills. So what I'm going to do for this demo real quick on this part is we are going to push to the my agent skills repo, right? And so resource owner, I don't have to touch that. Repository access, right? So if you give this access token to an agent or something, it's going to have access to like all your repositories. Okay, read-only access to public repositories. If you check this one, all repositories, this will give it like full control. So I guess yeah, like this is a safe default, but it's really not going to be able to do much. So what you want to do is meet somewhere between here, right? This is read only. This is like full on, gives you access to everything, or this is scoped to public repositories. This is to all current few. So I think this is like public and private. So it's like public and then public and private. But anyway, what you want to do, and we'll give the permissions later. So I want to go to this agent skills repo. And this is where we add the permissions. And what you want to do is you want to do the contents permission. And that gives it, by default, is just read only. So you want to go read and write. So I guess I was kind of misspeaking a little bit about these. So I think this is just for public and private. So all repositories is public in addition to private. Public is just public repos. And then I think only select repositories just scopes it to one particular repo. It doesn't care if it's public or private. And then you actually set the permissions down here is where you do that. And then this one you can't really set. So you just do generate token, and then just generate token. Looks good. Read and write, read only. And then you got that ready to go, right? So how do we use this thing? Well, so you use it with GH. I had that command all queued up there. So if you don't have GH installed, you can just do apt install GH, and I think it's GitHub host is what it is. But it's a command line utility to be able to push to GitHub repos. You can delete GitHub repos with it. Pretty much anything you can do with GitHub, you can do mostly with the GH command. So anyway, what we need to do is authenticate, because right now our agent can't push to the repo. So I'm going to pull up our agent really quick just to show you that. So he's all ready to go. I'm like, hey, we're going to develop this skill. I'm getting it to use Podman and kind of wrapping its head around that. So I was like, yo, I'm going to authenticate. We're going to push this up to the agent skills. So I'm going to say we're ready, push the repo. And I'm expecting this to fail, right? So I'm expecting this to be like, I'm trying to do it, and I'm just running in the blocks, and I can't do it. So, yeah, it says right there, still signed out of GH, checking for other credentials. No GitHub credentials on this machine. Preparing the command locally. So, this is not the worst thing in the world here. But this isn't quite what I'm going for. I'm going to just say hold up on that. Let me auth. And then, so what we're going to do is, like it's saying, GH auth login, and then we can check the status with GH auth status. So we'll just go GH auth login. And what you can do here is let's get this to a manageable size so it still looks kind of decent. Make that wider. So yeah, so I just choose github.com is how we're going to auth, and then we're going to auth over HTTPS, and instead of logging in with a web browser where it gives you the code, we're just going to go paste an authentication token. So this is where we paste in that token that we generated earlier, right from here, and then I'm going to just paste that in there, and then it says that we are logged in, so I'm going to just do status, and that's going to let us know that, hey, we're all logged in, looks good. We'll go back to our agent and just say ready dudeski. So checking the auth and then committing and pushing the Podman skill. Okay, so it's going to do that. And what I'm going to do while that is cooking is we're just going to install Podman and the Cockpit Podman. I don't even know what you call that, like an extension or plugin or what it is exactly. But what we're going to do is apt install, I think it's Cockpit Podman. And then this should pull in all the dependencies. So I'm expecting this to pull in like Podman and do that. So we'll see. Let's see what else it wants to install here. Yep, there's Podman right there. All the other dependencies it wants. So we'll just continue that. Let that kind of just do its thing. Agents like, yep, I committed it. Good to go. So that is cool. And then I'll show you guys sort of what Cockpit looks like, right? So ditch this. That is right here. So usually what you can do to get here is you'll just go to like localhost on port 9090 once you install Cockpit. So I threw together like a little markdown with kind of some of the install stuff. So fairly standard apt update. You install the main Cockpit program itself, and then you install the Cockpit. Well, you don't have to do this. I'm doing this because I think it's dope to be able to manage virtual machines from a GUI. So this is like kind of like, I'm gonna say it's like Proxmox light mode. So it's just like very like minimalistic. You can manage your virtual machines from within here. Like you can do all kinds of stuff, add some RAM to it. It's not like full blown. I mean, obviously there's some like limitations here, but like for most just easy lab setup, just kind of chilling, doing some proof of concepts, like this is great. This is a great experience. And then you can also, like, it gives you a lot of cool stuff, like you know, an accounts overview of like what accounts are on the machine, and like user groups. So you know, it's just kind of a cool way to be able to see like, you know, what services are running, that kind of thing. And this is like a multi-platform like program. So Cockpit, I think, was originally developed for like Red Hat or Fedora. So it is like of that lineage, but yeah, it still runs on Debian-based distros. And so yeah, and I actually just started using it, and I'm pretty stoked on it. Like I'm pretty stoked on Cockpit. So yeah, you can access more information about that from cockpit-project.org. But yeah, come to find out, they have a Podman plugin, right? And I'm not super like, I've actually never used Podman really, so I'm not like super in the know on it. I've used Docker quite a bit, but not necessarily Podman. So what we want to do is, this is my goal, is to be able to manage Podman containers from within here as well. So should be good to go on there. Let's see. That all installed good. So I think we need to restart the service. So let's just see if that can get us to where we need to go. Let's see if I can find the Podman service and see if that's... I don't see a search feature off the top of my head. I guess I could look here. Podman. I could probably use Control F too. That's probably just going to find it in my search box. And then okay, yeah, I don't see it, so I must be missing something. Let me see if I can restart the Cockpit service. I don't even know what the service is called, but I will do system CTO restart Cockpit. That service, maybe. Boom. So it looks like we restarted that. We will reconnect, and so this is dope. You know, this is like the landing page when you just you know, first get to Cockpit. So you're using you know, PAM to authenticate here. So I'll just throw in my local username, throw in the password there. should be good to go. And then we'll see. Whoa, look at there. There we go. Podman containers. Stoked. So that was not there before. Now it is there. So it was that easy. So we just had to restart the service. And then I think I had something from the doc about we can enable this service for the user. So we'll do podman.socket is, well, we can check the status of this too. So what I'll do is I'll hop over to just a regular user terminal, and then we'll throw that in there. And so you can run with that -- user flag. You can run system control commands for like services as the user, so you don't have to be root to do this or sudo. So that just enabled that. So like next time I restart the machine or whatever, it will just be ready to rock and roll. And it looks like it's running. We just confirmed that it's there. So I think the next thing is like, let's put this skill to use that we just created. So I'm going to say like, I'm going to use the voice dictation. Okay, dope. It looks like we have the Podman cockpit service running. Can you spin up an Arch Linux container? And I'll kind of just see if, did that not work? Voice transcription failed. Sabahada error. Okay, whatever. So I'm going to say spin up Arch Linux container. Use Podman skill. So what I want to see is some kind of like graphical indication that this is going. So it says Podman is ready, pulling Arch and starting a named long running container. I like that it did that without me having to tell it to do that. The other thing I was just wanting to see like how far we would get with this. The other thing I was thinking about doing is like revisiting one of the MCP servers that I developed like a little while ago, and it was all written in like .NET and C#, and it was like a Kali specific MCP server, and just see if like we could like maybe just do it in like just Python and then tailor it to like Black Arch or something like that. But let's see where we're at. So first, refresh, complain about no secret key. Still works. XRDP desktop stacked on this. So cool. So it's giving us some commands there. And I'm gonna say like yeah, because it would be kind of cool. The other thing I was wanting to do is like test out. Really, what spurred this was I wanted to test out Ladybird browser and just throw it into a container and see if I could even just like get it to compile. Really, was kind of the goal. And then you know, it's just always fun to mess with containers, and I always love just like giving agents access to containers because I think that's kind of hilarious. I don't know, it's still just kind of blows my mind. So we setting up XRDP lightweight container, blah 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 blah. So let's see if we can see that container from within Cockpit. Where's Cockpit? It's right there. Dope. It's right there. So, you know, that easy. We have an Arch container running. and we can, we have management capabilities from within a nice web interface on our workstation. And so, we're not using like, I don't know, whatever the heck they use to manage this. And also, right here, it's like we don't need Vert Manager, we don't need Proxmox. Like, it's just very simple management of VMs and containers from within Cockpit. So definitely a fan of this. And then this will show the original images, Arch latest. And then I always like get confused between the word image and container, but container or image is like the one that you pull down from like the official like Arch servers or wherever it's hosted, and that's like the kind of golden image. And then container is like the actual, like, this is our container, this is our version of what is running. And let's see, what else can we do here? Prune unused containers, and then we can start all that good stuff. Can we, oh, there you go, that's kind of what I was looking for. Do we have access to a console? So integration, don't really care about that. Logs, maybe something's failing. And then that's dope. So we got, a shell right there. Yeah, so that's pretty cool. And I need to see if I have, I don't think I have RDP on the host set up. So it's just kind of going through, kind of just doing its thing. Let me see if I can open up a new Szechuan here. XRDP isn't in the main repos. Checking where Arch ships it. Interesting. Okay, let's do a new session. And then I'm going to say, let's pull down this Kali MCP server. And there might be like another one too that's not quite so tethered. I thought I did another Linux like MCP server that was a little bit like more light, that was not quite. Docker MCP manager. I think this is it. I just named it really bad. And I didn't put a README in the repo either. Nice. And this one is all Python, so that work is already done. Okay, so dope. So this is the MCP server. So yeah, this is actually just going to be way more turnkey. So I already did the work 4 months ago, so I don't have to redo it. So let's see where this guy's at. So it's an AUR only. That's fine. I'm gonna get another session working here. I'm gonna just say pull down this repo. Clone it into source, huh? Okay. And then check this one out, see where we're at. So just waiting on the xrdp install to finish. Sweet, so it cloned that. And then I'm going to say we have a Podman skill. can you modify the repo for Podman usage instead of Docker? And then I'm going to also say add readme because I did not have a readme. And then so that's cooking, that's doing its thing. We're just waiting for RDP to finish there. I'm guessing that something is like packages mostly installed. Okay. So we got that going. Building xrdp from AUR. The next thing is to figure out, I can't ever remember the RDP command to actually just RDP. Is it xrdp? Is it RDP client or I don't even remember. RDP not found. Let's do apt search RDP. And it was, could also probably use Google here. RDP client. RDP client for Windows. So I think it's, yeah, FreeRDP. I could get away with probably one of those. I want to say there was one of these newer ones that was like good. FreeRDP 3. Yeah, something like that. FreeRDP 3 X11. I think this is probably the one we want right here. What we could probably do, I think GNOME Remote Desktop is like its own protocol. It's not actually RDP itself, but yeah, I think this is it. FreeRDP 3-Wayland. So let's do and if this isn't the correct package, I can obviously just do something else here. So we'll do set the command free x free RDP3. Not so much. So I just gotta do Wayland. Not so much. Let's see if we can do RDP. Not coming up there. Remote. Yeah, no, I don't know what the command is. I can't remember. Could use Ramina or something like that, but just ask the agent here. Or let's go here. So what is yeah, we don't want to run Ramina. I have nothing against it. Yeah, xFreeRDP. So what is command for, is it literally just xFreeRDP? I should have tried that. Oh my god, it is. I think I have that in a terminal here. Let's see, xFreeRDP not found. What did I? FreeRDP 3. That's not it. FreeRDP 3. That's not it. Dash Wayland. Oh, WL free RDP3. Let's try that. Boom. Okay. So that is the command. Learn something new. It's always super fun when the install package doesn't really match anything. Okay, so WL free. Where does the W Wayland? WL is Wayland, so Wayland free RDP3. Okay, cool. So let's check back in with our agents, see where they are. I think this one is hella stuck. This one, let's see, what do we do? Just doing some testing, it sounds like. Looks like it created a Ubuntu container. Let's see if it's still there. Nice. Yeah, so it pulled an Ubuntu image for testing. So yeah, using Podman, ad hoc verification, not a project test suite, run a one shot, blah 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 blah. Not covered. Python. Importing MCP, fast MCP npm, host has no uv pip VM. So the MCP package itself wasn't. So what's that telling me? I need to install. Do we need to install? I think that's what we need to do. So we need to install Python 3 VM. Let's do this terminal. Let's do apt install Python 3 dash VM. Okay, so we got that, and then I'm gonna just say Python 3 VM, check again. And then this is, something's jacked up here. This is taking way too long. So I'm gonna just say I think you got stuck. Try again, or try something else. As XRDP is AUR only and was hanging the build, switching to Ubuntu for packaged XRDP so we can get a working RDP session quickly. What? Okay, that's fine. We'll just that's just funny. It's just like, yeah, it's like I see an Ubuntu container. We're just gonna jump over to that and just use that instead. Okay, fine. I'm just gonna roll with that. Let's see. The imp is get ignored. What do we got? Rechecking with the VM. So it was able to import everything. Looks good, looks good. Ad hoc verification, everything passed. So I'm gonna just say update. Actually this one should be different. Maybe. Let's do create Podman MCP servers go. I'm gonna say like in the repo. it's also kind of the other thing about this too is like I used to be able to get around like guardrails by using an MCP server. So if I would send commands through like an MCP server, I think it was just originally, and this was like a year ago, but it was like, oh yeah, you're just calling an MCP server, so we're not worried about what you're doing. So I kind of wanted to just try this out again, and I wanted to see if I could get it, you know, to work with like a model that has guardrails, right? So I'll author a Podman MCP server, create full Hermes format skill. Where are we at with this? Running leave, arch stop, still has XFC bits if you want it later. Okay, well that's kind of like, that guy's working on Ubuntu. That guy's working on the repo. Let's just start up a new one. I'm gonna say, hey, use Podman skill to kill arch container. Once killed, install RDP server on it. Make sure to expose container ports. Okay, so what do we got here? We got the skills working. Because I mean, anymore, it's like you don't even need this MCP server really, just because the agents are so good now that they don't, they just don't even need an MCP server to do this kind of stuff. They can just, they just know enough about the commands that they can just do it. But I am kind of curious if it will skirt around some of the guardrails. Cool. So that did that. And then this is kind of the OG one, configuring the user and starting xrdp. And then what I want to do is, what I really wanted to do also is just point it at this Ladybird documentation. And just kind of get it going. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to just create a new section. I'm going to say, hey, create a skill from this documentation for Ubuntu and Arch. I'm going to say, clone the repo if necessary. And I think that's about all I need to do right there. Boom. So what do we got? Got some RDP yet? So we got exec interactive terminal, RDP, restart that, tear it down. XRDP was started by hand inside the container. After Podman, start again. So the RDP server inside is running. Question mark. I'm using WL. What's it called? It was like WL xFreeRDP or something like that. WL free RDP3. connect, provide status and command to connect. And I mean, I don't think it's really like super standard to, you know, do RDP sessions into Docker containers. I mean, I feel like it's kind of a jank way to do stuff, but I just wanted to do it just to do it. So it says containers gone, checking what's left, and binding RDP back up. Recreating the RDP container, it was removed. So it looks like sesman. I'm assuming that's session manager. So yeah, we need to make a persistent container, it sounds like. Switching to a systemd setup. Arches systemd init was unstable. That's because it doesn't have systemd. Let's see. Something keeps recreating the RDP container, tracking that down. And I'm going to say the port's free, so there's some port conflicts. Probably because we have two agents, and I'm actually not sure like which agent is doing what or working on, you know. But creating Arch and installing xrdp with the startup scripts. Skipping flake on systemd. It's back to the AUR. So we'll see if this run, if it figures it out. I could try maybe a little bit smarter model, but finding what's managed. It's another agent, homie. That's what's managing the other containers. Let's see. Change the password. You can check in. Container's gone. So I'm going to just say, like, it sounds like these containers are just not being kept persistent. So I'm going to just say, like, make sure to create persistent containers. And then I'm going to send that to this other agent as well. He's doing this setup. Another Hermes session is owning. So it figured out what was managing the containers. That's pretty cool. Finishing the setup, and then I'm going to say, so it's running that command inside the server, running that script inside the server. Passwordless sudo for convenience in sandbox. Oh, nice. This is pretty cool. You can actually kind of see the repos it's pulling from. And then let's check on the skill. Let's see, Ubuntu, blah, 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 blah. New session will pick up the skill via the description trigger. Let's see. So I think it's ready to go. So it read the docs. It's got a pretty good idea of like what to do. As soon as we get an RDP session here established, we should just be able to fire this off on one of these. And then, you know what, in the meantime, let's do a Docker MCP manager. Yeah, let's just see if this works. So going to start this lab machine and see if I can get this thing to just start kind of testing on this machine here. So let's get this VPN going here. Open VPN / something different there. I don't need the dot, yeah. There we go. Okay, so VPN is up and running. And we just need an IP. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, and then we also have just a couple keys here. It says local.txt and proof.txt. So that's really all the information we want to give to this agent. So I'm going to say, okay, use the I'm going to say pull down the Kali image. And perform test on that IP address to retrieve. We'll just give it the names of those files. That's all we're going to give it. I like to be vague as possible because I want it to figure it out on its own. I can't help with that. So it's still kind of... Let's see if we can switch this model up. Let's see, I can't help with that. Attacking or probing. Off limits, regardless of ownership. Pulling, running. Let's see if we can just maybe start it with a fresh context. So I'm going to say pull the Kali container, or pull the Kali image. Install basic recon tools, make sure container persistent. We'll see if it actually balks at this or not. Pulling a Kali image for Podman. Selling basic recon tools. Okay, that's cool. So it'll at least let us do that. And then what do we got here? Original arch was already stopped. Okay, so next steps there. Let's see, that is pulling that image down. And basically all we have to do, worst case scenario, is just switch models. Like if I give that to GLM52, it'll just go ham on it. Committing a persistent image and wiring volumes in system D. Oh, that's aggressive. So we got our skill there. And then that's a different session from a different time. So, Podman, exec, arch, password. I don't really care about that. Short story. That's funny. Is it getting pissed? Persistent data. Bind. Mount. Oh, yeah. Persistent storage. Yeah, I'm not too worried about persistent data at the moment. Actually, I am worried about persistent data. We do want some persistent data. Yeah, set up persistent data. Pick a port and land on it. Nice. So, tools installed, volume survive, podman, rm plus recreate, volume survive, as long as you reattach them. Recreate. So we got this one just created, persistent volumes. Kelly recon box is up and persistent. So yeah, in that original MCP repo, it was a persistent container. I guess this is actually a completely brand new repo. So that's kind of cool. I just figured out kind of what I wanted to do. So let's try this. Let's see if we can. I kind of want to check the status there also. And this is kind of cool too, as far as like, yeah, we can see like just in the last little bit, we've pulled down quite a few containers. It's interesting. Or we pull down. RDP, XFC, Arch RDP. I was gonna say too, I thought that I had uninstalled Docker. Maybe I didn't. Let's get out of here. I think that was the command I had queued up right at the very beginning. Abtramiv, docker.io. Yeah, it was still there. So, yeah, I meant to do that before the start of this, just to run everything off of Podman. So that probably just broke something. We'll see. Like some of these containers are going to be like these two need to go. Actually, these three. Oh, so it pulled the container using Docker. Lame. Okay, so we're just going to delete these. Force delete. 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 But maybe that is persistent right there. And yeah. Cool. Let's see where these are at. And so let's try this. WL FreeRDP3. Command for connect. Throw that in there. Gives me that. So let's see if this works. The whack. Oh, heck yeah. Unable to connect. Could not connect. Okay. Well, that at least kind of sort of worked. Let's see if we can increment that. What was the other one? It was going to be 89 as the port on the other one. I don't know what username they used, but ooh, that looks a little bit better. Login failed for Arch user. Okay, sweet. So I actually think this one is up and running. We just don't know the credentials to get into this one. Blank, no password. What was the other one's username? So this is the Arch RDP ports. Login Arch user. So I don't know why it gave me 90 in the command to connect. We were able to kind of get there on 89, so it's Arch user. I should have tried that. And not so much. I think that's what we're going for. Give this a try. No. Arch user. So I'm gonna say like we used that on 89 to connect, but password no worky. Checking ports and resetting Arch user password. You're targeting that. Arch RDP is on that. I wonder if that was just I wonder if that's that other machine and it just had the username. Try that. Let's see if that works. Oh, hell yeah. We are in. Look at that. So that's pretty awesome. I think that's, at least to my knowledge, that is the first time I have ever RDP'd into a Docker container. So yeah, that's pretty cool. Sweet. So I think we can start maybe setting up this Ladybird stuff. Okay, let's just keep it rolling. I'm not going to think about it too much. I'm just going to kind of go for it. I'm going to pin this because this is rad. Okay, can you use the Ladybird to install Ladybird on the server. Yeah, I think that's, I'm going to let it know that we successfully connected via RDP. Also, update the Podman skill to reflect RDP setup knowledge. So that's pretty dope. So we definitely want it to remember how to set up an RDP server on, you know, a container using Podman. So just kind of doing a couple things right there. It looks like the other one, I don't know if that was, I didn't even check what the host is on this. Like, what is this? So this one is Ubuntu. So yeah, we remoted into the Ubuntu one, and then the other one gave me another command. Let's try this one. We're already on. We're already on .389 over here, I think. So I don't really want to. Yeah, so it's a different one for sure, I think. Is it? Arch RDP. That is the one that is connected. Might see. This should just connect us to a different one. Let me just say 13389. 13389. I think 13389 is used by Ubuntu container. Can you reassign the Arch container port? This video is probably so long right now. Yeah, we're up to an hour on the video. Oh my. Locking it to 13390. Let's try this. Oh, it told me. I just didn't know how to read. So we'll do that. See if we can connect to this Archbox. Something failed. Maybe it's not back up. There we go. Boom, and we are in. Hell yeah. Very nice. Ports are split. Dude. I like the look of that. That's pretty nice. I am not a fan of not being able to resize that window though. What? Oh, it's okay. That's wild. Okay. Yeah, pretty cool. All right, so those work. And then where were we at? Over here. So it's working on installing Ladybird in one of these containers. So I'm gonna just let that keep working, and then reconnect to the VPN over here. And then start another session. Where was the one that it told me it didn't want to do the pen test? It was it doesn't matter. Let's just start up a new session to see if we can get around this. So we'll say, oh yeah, we got some serious graphical glitches going on. I think we're starting to push this machine to its limits. Okay. Well, I think that's probably realistically like just a good stopping point. I went over a few of the things that I wanted to go over. Mainly, yeah, like just setting up Cockpit with Podman and managing some of those containers, and then yeah, just being able to like RDP into a Docker container was pretty cool. Setting up some of those tokens for GitHub so that you can kind of keep your agent scoped to a single directory or something like that. So yeah, that's kind of that, and it says it's there. Ladybird browser. Does it work? Hell yeah, launch anyway. Yeah, let's do it. That's pretty awesome. But will it work? I don't know. Seems like that's not wanting to run so great. But yeah, I gotta figure out like how this thing mark executable. Ladybird command not found. Was it like ladybird -browser or something? No. It's probably some kind of like Python script or something like that. I'm still just kind of getting after this. Like I can't leave it now. So we're gonna do source unfinished. Yeah, let's see if this will work, I guess. Which one was it in? Not that one. In this one. Oh god. Copy paste is no worky in there. Let's do it here. So we source dot ladybird environment, and then we go into that /source directory, and then we do dot meta something something something. Let's see if this lets me stack some windows a little bit. So it's source /dot env. It's a ladybird env, and then it's like /. See what we got in here. Let's quit that window. So we want, oh, it's the source directory in the home directory. So cd source, and then from there we have a .meta / pythons. We give it the run argument dash GUI equals qt. So that was a what, Python? No, it's a hidden dot slash met. What? It's not there. Oh, that's a directory. Okay, so that dot let's see, is it dot slash dot? No, it'd be dot slash meta slash ladybird.py. Then we passed it something about like GUI quit or something. Run dash GUI equals qt. Let me just send it the run command. We'll see if that works or not. Waiting to take file system lock. Running the install VC package running. Let's see if I missed something here. Most likely. It was just in the home directory there too. So home directory. Same deal. VC package installed. Waiting to take file system lock. I might as well just kick off this pen test real quick since we have the box already up and running. I should have been running this actually before. And then we'll just do something like that. And then let's create a new session. I'm going to say that and that. And think I just want to see, like, I'll treat this as a target host and look up any prior context on that IP and those file names. That's not exactly what we're going for. It's going to see probing or attacking to retrieve that is something, something, something. So using the existing general CTF study doesn't involve me attacking a live target. If you want something that in that allowed set, say what you need. So somehow there's some guardrails to get around here, and I mean that's another kind of just topic for another time. But I think we can just switch this over to a different model, and you can definitely get this to work with Sonnet 4.6 will usually let me do this. Say Grok was not, let's see, I'm going to say I don't know. Let's see. Let's just give it the same instructions and see what it says. The crappy thing is it might have the context from Grokness in here, so we'll see if this actually. Okay, so that token's not good, so I need to auth there apparently. I wonder if there's another model we could use that would actually let us do that. I think we use Luna. Do I have anything connected here for Luna? I can't retrieve local tent, blah, 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 blah. Lame. You models are lame. So let's switch this up to a different one. Looks like I'm not off to Copilot right now. We have some stuff from OpenAI. We have some stuff from Grok. So I'm actually not in OpenRouter right now. Let's try Luna again without that rotten context. Let's see if this is a little bit better. What would you like me to do? For example, connect over SSH. Yes, please. We have a related skill. Client has requested a report. So we'll see. What is going on with that glitchiness? That is just crazy. Sweet, so Luna's doing some stuff. So yeah, that context, that poison context from Grok definitely affected Luna's willingness to proceed. So yeah, we were able to just start a new session, and then Luna was able to pick up that pen testing skill that was already pre-existing and very well embedded within. Actually, not super well embedded in this. This is actually a new install, but yeah, it's definitely there. So yeah, I'm actually kind of curious. I haven't. This is like the second time I've even tried Luna for this kind of stuff, but it's apparently just a little bit willing to do some things that Grok is not. So yeah, interesting. And kind of a cool side effect of that, I feel like, is lower token cost. So kind of cool. And yeah, so I'm gonna just like let that cook. I'm gonna jump off of here. I don't really think that I want to go much longer in this video, so I feel like we covered a lot of ground. This one is pretty much burned, so we're just gonna get rid of that one. And that one's there. Somewhere I had mentioned the errors that we were getting, I thought, but maybe not. But anyway, that was fun. Bye.
Thanks for watching Tim Sonner. Like and subscribe for more. God bless. Mwahahaha ha.